welcome to the Kosciuszko Foundation. My name is Marek Skolimowski, I'm the president of the foundation. And welcome to the first evening of the Meet and Learn series. And tonight, let me welcome my friend. We've been working together for some time.
Yes, we have been, that's for sure.
Yes,
we know each other for a while. Thank you so much for having me today.
So let me say a few words about Dorota, Dorothy, or Dor Lata, whatever.
I'm the woman of many names.
I always known her as Dorota.
There you go.
As the creative director of Bloomberg TV, Dor was responsible for the global beauty and image operation of Talent on Air. That's when we met.
That's when we met, yes.
This included creative makeup and hair teams globally. Dor established and managed the international beauty and image operations within the Bloomberg Global Network, European Union, Hong Kong, Asia, Middle East, South and North America, United Arab Emirates, and Abu Dhabi. Working on the on-camera image for Michael Bloomberg, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Charlie Rose, Placido Domingo, Bruce Jenner, Roger Moore, Linda Evans, Kevin Bacon, and many of the international Bloomberg TV anchors and reporters. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
So we are honored to have you here, and so today Dorota is going to be talking about the power of first impression.
Well, I want to say thank you so much to the president of Kosciuszko Foundation, Marek Skolimowski, as well as Eva Zadvorny, who is our director of the culture affairs. And actually, Eva and I spent some time together creating Meet and Learn for you guys to enjoy it and learn a lot and meet a lot. And also do some networking. Well, in the meantime, thank you so much for coming for the first meeting. I'm very pleased to be here and start this new series. And as Marek kindly introduced me, you know a little bit about me. You can learn a little bit more about me on my website. But yes, I've done 12 years of corporate America working for Bloomberg TV. And about a few months ago, I started my own company on camera image consulting. It's a new journey. I love it. I'm pretty pleased to meet so many people, going to a lot of networking events and learn more about people out there and who is actually needing services like mine. Well, in the meantime, today the topic will be the power of first impression. As you know, we're living in a century, 21st century, when the first impression means a lot. We are surrounded by social media. And we live by social media. We're pretty much on camera 24/7. And we live in the place where we don't have time to waste, and our first impression means a lot. So I would like to start showing you the power of the first impression. Welcome. The first impression, personal brand. Everything you do or you say communicates your brand. What do you want your brand to be? Do you ever think about when you start putting yourself together when you have a meeting, how you want to present yourself? Successful brand communication is 3% verbal and 97% nonverbal. Personal branding is a leadership requirement. Well, this lady up there is Angie Lau from Hong Kong. I used to work with her. She's interviewing the guru, the one of the most influential men from Hong Kong. You see, she's looking very elegant, very positioning herself. And we don't know what she's talking about. Obviously, she's having great conversation because she had a very good scores after this interview. Elements of your brand. Everybody is different. We all have our different DNA. Same with our brand. We got to create something what goes with our profession, what goes with what we do and how we do it. Meaning unique selling points, presence, personality, style. We could be very cheery, we could be sad, we could be different people, but we try to manage something what makes a special, unique element of us. Positive habits, achievements, and values. All of those create elements of your brand. I'm going back to Angie Lau because she was one lady when I met her. She pretty much stand out as a a little bit different lady, after we worked together, she started creating halo around her. Halo effect, this amazing effect, gives you some sort of like a lightness around. She used to have a very brunette hair, very dark image, looking a little bit sad on the other side. So influential part of how she looked or how she was wearing her hair was making her personality a little bit darker. So we created halo. We colored her hair, we changed the lip, and the color she was wearing automatically changing her personality as well. More positive and more vibrant. I see here we have a bunch of gentlemen as well as ladies, which is a nice combination that shows that men and women should think about personal image and personal brand same way. So we have here someone who used to work with Scott Galloway and Alex Steele. All of those, both of them representing different approaches. Professor from NYU and anchor on TV. And I want to say one thing, even though it's a stage setting, it's a setting from TV set, it's still the same as you would go to a meeting, you would go to perform in the front of 200 people, have a speaking engagement as well, so you always got to be prepared. I would like to go back to before and after images and explain the changes. This is someone who I also work with. Lady from Singapore, still working for Bloomberg TV. You see how the coloring changes pretty much your visual image. You got to think about all the aspects or before and after images, and what does work for you not necessarily would work for another person, and vice versa. Same here with gentlemen. You see how before and after images changes the posture, the body language, positioning, and also the fact that it's more groomed on afterwards. Okay. So what makes your presence? All of those elements, it's not only about makeup, hair, and wardrobe, but also about your facial expression, about your body language, your voice, very important, and also positioning in the front of camera, the light. Do you know what angles are good for you, what angles work? Everybody has their best angle. When you take a picture, it's like, oh, wait a second, let me just turn this way. This is better than this way. And then, so this is all making the whole total package. It's not only one thing, but it's an element of a bunch of little details creating our presence. And your image through the human eye, the same as through the lens, we go on the other side. And what we see is we work at home with social media, we post our pictures, we post our posts, articles. We have our meetings in the professional settings. We all work in a professional different words when we need to present ourselves and our personal brand officially. Conference, when you are doing speaking engagements, do you think any time about yourself? How is your presence like? How people see you? Not only how you see yourself, but how people see you. And of course, remote work. We do and more work at home. So what do we do? Sometimes, very often, when I used to work with, let's say, Singapore office, I saw nostril from another person talking to me. I'm like, I don't want to see this. I want to see you. Can you look in the camera? Or tip of the shoe, because people don't think about positioning in the front of the camera. When you look, like you do Zoom, for example, or Skype, do you ever think not to look at the person you are talking to in that little window, but to look in the front of the camera? Because that's when you're facing the camera, you're not facing the person, then you see the half of your face on the other side. All of those elements create you. To think about 12 feet, 12 inches and 10 words as a rule before you go to networking meetings, before you see people, before you go to interviews or very important, influential, situations in your life. How to position yourself. So from 12 feet, how do you look? Do you think about your posture? Do you think about what you show from the distance of the 12 feet? Another one is 12 inches up close. So, for instance, do you see this? How does she look like? She looks a little bit confused and not happy. We gotta avoid those looks. We gotta make sure that we come up from the 12 inches, we look happy, we give a smile, and we have a very good posture. This one is not too good. Now, 12 words. What are you saying? how does your voice sound? Do you ever think about when you have a presentation to make it work, or when you go to have a speaking engagement, do you ever think about warming up your voice? Do you think what you want to say? Do you prepare? I'm sure you do. But then, how does your voice sound? Do you ever do exercises to relax your voice? Do you ever have a breathing exercise to relax yourself? When you stand up strong and take a few deep breaths, you inhale with your nose, hold it for 10 minutes, count to 10, not 10 minutes. You'll be a genius to do it. I think you will beat the records, but for counting to 10, holding your stomach and exhale through your mouth. Then you can see, and then you can relax, and then you can be prepared for your speaking engagement, for instance. But on that note, I just want to say, not only sound of your voice, not how your vocal cords works, but also what you say. Protecting your personal brand. So all of those elements, which I've been talking about before, have a clear picture of who you are. If you don't, then call me and we will create this for you. Ask yourself how you look and sound. Ask others, ask your friends, ask your wife, ask your husband. Record yourself, make a little bit video. Now we all have our tools in our hands. We have our smart cell phones. You can record a little video, you can play it back, and you can see how you look, how you sound. Your professional visual image increases your confidence. Of course it does. If you have a strong presence, your body language works, your shake hand is strong and sturdy, you know that you are confident, and then you are ready to conquer the world. Exercise and practice. Every time before you have a performance, this is the stage, you're performing. Every time when you do it, this lady knows she's gonna be performing soon. Professional singer. So life is a stage. Think about this. Every time when you need to make a presentation, every time when you're meeting a new client, every time when you're trying to go for a new position at work, you have a meeting with your CEO, or you travel the world. Think about who you are and what your brand is like, and then prepare yourself first because the power of first impression, you might have only 1 or 2 chances. How many chances do you have? And only 8 seconds to take to make this presentation your best. Protect your personal brand. Project it means work on it before, because it makes absolute difference when you know who you are and how you present yourself to others. I think with the body language, with the way how you look, with the way how you sound, that's one total package, but you need to work on it. So if you have any questions, I'll be delighted to talk to you about this on Camera Image Consulting, on the different topics here. And also we'll be here for meetings once a month, mastering our Meet and Learn networking events. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
So how do you approach somebody without kind of hurting their feelings, saying, hey, your image really doesn't work, or you need to maybe have a better hygiene, or you need to do nails? How do you do that?
Great topic. Great question. Great question. So very often I was facing the situation, and I have to be the typical Victor the cleaner. I go and clean the situation around and talk to people about this and make it with the literally white gloves and be very gentle about this. So how I approached it was, I had a slight little event. Hi, would you like to grab a coffee? Let's go for a second, let's talk. I have such an awesome idea. So I've seen this image of, let's say, this celebrity, and you know what? You almost look like this person. How about we change you? What do you think? For a man and women, and you know, you take it on a high note instead of making someone feel uncomfortable. So we take it as the high note. You take it to the level that everybody would love to be approached this way. It's like, OMG, I look like her, or I look like him. Yes, so what's the picture? Series of pictures. How about we agree on something in the middle, perhaps? You're welcome. More questions? Yes.
What do you think are the most common mistakes people make with their image? Like, there are maybe 1 or 2 things that if we just paid attention to them, we'd really raise our game.
So I think we raise our game in a sense of
projecting our image better.
Okay, so I think We have better chances with making our presentation on a high level if you feel confident. You know, your confidence within what you do, the way how you posture, how you position your body language is so important, as well as your look. So if you, let's say, stand like this and you just put your hands down, obviously somebody will take you like you are weak a little bit. Your body language says, oh, she maybe is not sure. You tilt your head like this, that means, oh my God, she's definitely not sure. But when you stand like this, you had your hands above your waist and you position your legs as your hips, and then you talk, your shoulders are straight. There's no doubt that you're confident. And that's how you get strong handshake, positioning your face, smile always helps within the 3 sessions. But I will tell you, since you are a singer, you know very well how to warm up your voice. So how do you do it? For the setting of, let's say, not professional singers, I would recommend to everyone 10 minutes before you start your speaking engagements, or you have a conference, you're going to be part of it and you're going to be part of the panel. I would recommend to go in a quiet place and sing your favorite song. Nobody can hear you, but you get your, as loud as you can, just have fun with it. Then the next one is you go and you make crazy faces, like you relax these muscles, you're just making funny faces. But yet again, I'm also a singer, but from the past. So the bottom line is when you relax those muscles, those are so many muscles that they need to be relaxed. Your tongue, you do the same. Sounds weird, but go in the front of the mirror and check your mimics in your face. Then you can go like a singer does. Whoo! Breathe in, breathe out. Just make funny sounds, but just relax your voice as much as you can so you don't feel stressed out. Breathing, for instance, typical what singer would do. When you go to opera, you know what you do. You stand up strong. You see opera singer.
I was like, that's the same thing.
Well, everybody should do it, because when you stand on stage, when you see opera singer, what does she does or he does? Stand strong. And then there's a pipe. There's a pipe. You're using this pipe. This is your pipe, but you need to know how to use this pipe. You need to know how to breathe. When you breathe correctly, then voice is opening up and you can sound like 10,000 angels. Yeah.
How do you break the cultural differences, let's say, some level, some field, the cultural differences from Asia to...
Very good question. So when I went to Hong Kong, it was pretty severe cultural difference. First of all, people come to you very close. They didn't talk to you this close, which for me was just personal distance. Let's give each other a little bit of space, at least this much. At least. So, for instance, what I did, I was trying to give them also just not to say anything, what would be affecting our relationship. Since we just met, let's say, in Hong Kong for 5 days, I stood back a little bit, make a step back, and then started talking to them from that distance, not making them, let's say, not comfortable, but you do your moves on your terms, in a sense that you show them that's where you come from. And let's say if someone goes to you, you go a little bit back, and then you talk, and use your perhaps hands to give yourself a little bit of space. So that's just one example. Sometimes it's very complicated, and you gotta watch the body language. I think the body language says it all. Body language, and also the fact, certain cultures, they would just not shake hands. Let's say in Asia sometimes, in business world, people do. So now it's different than it used to be 10 or even 20 years ago. But I think reading a little bit more about costume of the culture when you're going to be going or visiting or traveling, to understand a little bit better of their costumes is the key to everything. And then read the body language is another thing too. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.